Welcome to Down the Line with Charlie and Bo. I'm Sam Wilson. On this week's episode, Charlie and Larry head to Villanova University where they speak with the women's basketball head coach, Denise Dillon. And then later, Team Charlie and Team Larry will go head-to-head in a little bit of friendly competition. Coming up on this week's episode of Down the Line. Down the Line is brought to you in part by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Visit Montgomery County's main streets. Find out more at makeitmainstreets.com. By Shibe Vintage Sports, where there's a story in every stitch. Check out their throwback sports gear at their Center City location or at shibesports.com. And by Phillies Nation, where informed fans go for news, rumors, events, and other fun stuff.
They're not just familiar faces. They're your friends and neighbors. It's their small businesses, a beating heart that makes a neighborhood a home, where personality is served on a plate and imagination paints a brighter world. A place where fresh is always in stock with a personal touch passed down through generations. Support small and make a big difference. Make it local. Make it Main Street. Make it Montco.
Phillies Nation is your source for breaking news, original analysis, trade insights, and more. With Credentials Access, our team of writers brings you first-hand accounts from your favorite players on today's team, minor league prospects of the future, and Phillies alumni from the past. Join our community and connect with hundreds of thousands of diehard fans through our social media accounts, tailgate parties, and charity events. Don't miss a thing. Be sure to visit philliesnation.com every day.
Chuck, you know, we have somebody that's very special here today, the women's basketball coach for Villanova, Denise Dillon. And I usually don't bring a paper out, but these accomplishments, I don't want to embarrass you. 3-time All Big Five selection, Big Five Hall of Fame induction in 2004, Villanova Varsity Club Hall of Fame 2012, Cardinal O'Hare High School Hall of Fame 2018, Delaware County Hall of Fame 2012. I mean, what haven't you done? You were at 17 years at Drexel.
Yes.
And then you have replaced a big-time icon here in Harry Peretta.
Absolutely.
Let's go into that. He was here for 42 years.
Yes.
And now you come in, obviously you made a name for yourself when you played here, but leaving Drexel to come in and follow something like that, how tough is that?
Yeah, some big shoes to fill, absolutely. But Harry, as my coach, my mentor, and friend, it seemed like a seamless transition to have the opportunity to come in and replace him. What he has built here, the foundation he established, I have such great pride in Villanova and want to remain a part of building that tradition and doing some great things.
It looks like you started off very well. Charlie, I know you played basketball, but we were just warming up. Now, what'd you say about that rim?
I said that rim looks awful high to me.
You're not dunking today?
No, I'm not dunking today, no. It's hard for me to believe I once could dunk one, really.
I heard some good stories about you. You were a good basketball player.
When I was in high school, I did not go out for football. And where I lived, you had to play football. And so after my freshman year in high school, you know, like after I went out for football, I found out in basketball it really made me more disciplined, stronger, tougher.
Oh yeah.
When I could work, and I learned how to get position on rebounds and things like that. And I could muscle you underneath, and I wasn't a very big guy, you know, like I was skinny.
Sure.
You know,
but
you know,
it really helped me.
You made a good point about mental toughness and everything, playing other sports. Denise, when you go out and recruit, do you like to recruit girls that play other sports, or you just concentrate on basketball?
Well, obviously the evaluation is of their basketball talents and who they are as people, reading the body language and getting to know them through their coaches and teachers and whatnot. But I am a huge advocate of those who play multiple sports. whether it's growing up and they are just involved with their siblings. I even like the idea of hearing they're playing sports in the backyard and just staying active and involved. But it's having players who excel in multiple sports while in high school. And I think it's about giving back to your school as well, just staying involved. So it is something I'm a proponent of, and I want to continue to see, instead of just focusing in on the one.
Would you consider yourself a player's coach or a disciplinarian, or maybe both?
I think a little bit of both. I think the demand is there, but fair at the same time. I always bring it back to, I want my players to have the experience that I did, but greater success.
Wow.
And the well-balanced connection with coaches and their teammates, and having those relationships first and foremost, and their academic focus, but I really do give to them just that insight as to them knowing they can do a lot more than they may feel they're capable of in the time they're in college.
You've been doing this a long time, and the question I have, because Charlie and I go around and watch our minor league kids, and we see a big change in generations.
Sure.
Their attitudes, what they believe in, what they don't believe in. Since you started, do you see a big change in the generations that follow? Are they different? Are they more, I like to call it, they're very, in baseball now, they're very sensitive, and you have to really be careful of how you want to discipline them or get your point across, because it's a different generation now.
Right. I think it is a different generation, but they're the same. Like, it's, again, you guys have done this a long time, and you've seen the waves, as have I, but at the same time, they still want the same things, and they aspire to be great in all they do. So I think it's just the communication factor has changed, and I think
good point.
Continuing to learn. I mean, we as coaches, you have to reinvent yourself each year with the personnel that you have, and you want to bring the best out of those individuals as to what they can do, as opposed to focusing on maybe what they can't. So I feel it's my growth as a coach has been just trying to be a better communicator, as opposed to just staying set on, oh, this is what worked 20 years ago. Yeah, just having an open mind to it and asking the same.
Yeah,
Charlie's a big believer in discipline.
Definitely, I believe in flexibility and stuff like
Sure.
that. But also, I get a kick out of coaching and managing. And I've been in baseball for a long time, 58 years or whatever. I've gone a lot of places, seen a lot of things, but some of the biggest things is I still love to work with young kids. And one of the best compliments I feel like someone could ever say to me when they leave me, and they would tell me, "Well, Charlie, you taught me more than baseball." I've met guys sometimes that I think it's smarter than I am, and it takes me a while to get on their level, but I'll work at it.
There you go.
But at the same time too, everything is different. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the satisfaction I get out of seeing somebody play good.
Exactly.
Phillies Nation presents Questions from Fans.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and it's my 21st birthday. I'm from Berlin, New Jersey. And do you guys remember anything from your 21st birthday?
Well, Jeff, I never really drank that much when I was in high school, maybe a beer here and there. But on my 21st birthday, I remember I had a few too many, and I had a nice hangover after the 21st birthday.
I had a few beers, a few Bud Lights, and steak dinner. I remember that, because I was 21, and I was happy because I could go in a bar.
Hi, my name's Steve. I'm from Morristown, New Jersey. I got a question for Charlie and Manuel. What's your favorite vacation spot, man?
Steve, my special favorite vacation spot would be Pebble Beach in California, of course. And the location is absolutely magnificent, the scenery, and I totally enjoy it every time I go there.
Hi, I'm here with Rachel Riley, and she works with the Valley Forge Tourism, and they partner with us for our show. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you here today. And you know what, I've been a resident of Montgomery County for a long time. I love it here. People raise their families here, and it's great to see small businesses take over here in Conshohocken.
No, thank you so much, Larry. We're so happy to partner with Down the Line because we love baseball and of course we love the Phils, but we also love Montgomery County, especially small spots like Pretty Tasty Cupcakes here in Conshohocken. We have so many great small-owned businesses all throughout the county, and that's why for the last year we've been pushing our Make It Main Street campaign. It's really fun because it started out as how businesses were impacted by the pandemic, and we really wanted people to shop local to support them so they didn't have to close. But it's kind of evolved over the last year to talk about what it means to be a small business owner in the community, especially Montgomery County. And now we're really focused on how Monco is a Main Street destination. You can come here, explore different family-owned restaurants, retail shops, boutiques, all sorts of things, and you can stay overnight because we've got 80 hotels. So it's really a great way to showcase the variety of things to see and do here in Montgomery County.
Well, it's great that the economy is coming back, but how about for our viewers out there? Is there any way they can get information of the upcoming events that are coming up?
Absolutely. From Ambler to Pottstown, you can check out all of our main streets at makeitmainstreet.com.
Hey Rachel, you know what? I'm getting ready to eat one of these nice cupcakes with the Philly logo on it. So let's go Phillies, and I'm going to get a little heavy here eating this, but it looks great.
I think it's worth it. Definitely going to be worth it.
Okay. You know, reading your bio, Denise, there's one thing that stood out in my mind. It was 2009. A young lady by the name of Nicole Hester. She had Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the awards that she won the Philadelphia Sports Writer Most Courageous Athlete Award, the John Randolph Inspiration Award. Why don't you talk a little bit about Nicole Hester and what she had to overcome and the fact that you were there?
It was incredibly tough. Nicole Hester was my first commitment at Drexel, so had an immediate connection and a bond with her. You know, trying to build the program there and having someone come from Maryland of her ability was a great accomplishment. Getting her to Drexel, and she had a great freshman year, and then sophomore year came along. She just wasn't feeling right. I was thankful our doctors were on it, our training staff, and had her tested and here diagnosed with the Hodgkin's lymphoma. So she was out for a year doing the full treatments, and again, another chance to really connect with her. She was treated at Johns Hopkins, which is a great institution, and she stayed on campus. She was still at Drexel with us, wanted to be involved with the team as much as she could. So Nicole and I would make the drive down to Johns Hopkins. Her mom would meet us, and she would get treatment, and times her mom's like, do you want to come back home? It would all depend on how she was feeling. She's like, no, I want to head back with the team. Yeah, so it was an incredible inspiration to all of us, but her team especially. I mean, we had a drop off with her leaving, but in the long run, it really just built up that culture we were looking to establish, and she's just so admirable. And Nicole Hester is thriving today, healthy she can be.
That's an unbelievable story, because people like that spreads throughout your team. When you see how mentally tough a young lady is like that, to overcome that and continue her life, I mean, that's got to be like another coach for you. I mean, she's there rooting everybody on,
and she was that type of player. She was a very smart basketball player, so that's where she took it upon herself to be that captain and coach on the bench. Came back the following year, everyone, and she played and had a successful year. Yeah, we were a different team with Nicole Hester on the floor, but she just continued to motivate and inspire off as well.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I guess that's why you were Coach of the Year in 2005, 2009, 2018, and 2020. Coach of the Year. Those numbers and those accolades speak for themselves, Chuck. I mean, we're sitting here with somebody
I'm
that's
sitting
really
here with World Series champions, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're helping the young kids out, young ladies, and you're leading them in the right direction. We sort of get the finished product when we're in the big leagues. You know, we obviously we watch them grow through the minor leagues, but you actually have a big to do about how they enter when they become adults. That's a great accomplishment.
What is your favorite thing? Well, as a player and then as a manager.
As a player, Denise, it's not even close. The first ever World Series in Philly history, that was 1980. To have that sort of elephant taken off your back, that's something that you work at, and Chuck will be the first. They won it in 2008. But you have to be lucky, you have to be good, you have to be at the right place at the right time, you have to get a break. To win everything, everything's got to fall your way.
Sure.
And in '80 it did for us, and Chuck, you might want to hit on in '08. You know, you guys went through ups and downs, but you eventually turned out to be the world champions.
Yeah, I like to say the time that I managed in Philadelphia, especially for about 4 or 5 years, the team that we had was very special. And I think the fans and our organization and people like that played a lot into it. But we also had our chemistry on our team, but not only that, our talent and our game. You know, like we had speed, we had power, we had defense, right. and we had enough pitching.
Yes.
And somebody cannot say that we was, you know, like at one time we had a great roster. We had the big four at one time, but if you go back and look, it was hard for us to get through our rotation. And I like unity, but most of all, I like to have fun. And how do you have fun? By winning the game.
Yes, that's for sure.
And I like it to be a professional game too. I don't like to I want the game itself to be the show, if that makes sense. Yeah. And that's kind of who I am.
Well, everything about my upbringing has been Philly sports. So I wasn't old enough to be at the parade in '80, but we created our own parade. The street, so hanging out the station wagon,
right.
So up and down when you won, Larry, and then I was old enough in '08 to be a part of that celebration and walk the entire parade route all the way down to the field. So,
what did you like about our team? What do you think made you or kept you interested in our team?
I love the attitude of the guys, like just getting to know them, and I think you guys were tough.
Yeah, we were. We, you know, I think the one thing, Denise, that we had in common, both teams, we had a farm system and we had a core group of guys. It was on my team. It was me and Schmitty and Lazinski and Boone. Mm-hmm. On Charlie's team, it was Howard, Utley, Jimmy Rollins. I'm leaving somebody out.
Burrow.
You know, when you have that core group, then you build around the core group. It seems like now baseball teams are trying to go out and write checks out every year. Mm-hmm. And you, I'm sure you know, chemistry is important. You can sign you can sign 8 superstars, and if they don't get along and don't play as a team, it's not going to work. Right. And I'm sure when you coach, you like that chemistry. You can feel it.
Yes. Yeah. We often say you don't know like what it is, but you know when you have it, and you certainly know when you don't. So.
And you know what? There are games where you look back on in baseball, and Charlie had it, I had it, I'm sure you've had it coaching, where after the game's over that you've won, you say, how did we win that game?
Yeah.
because you play hard, you never give up, and you play to the final whistle. And that's what you ask in baseball. Play 9 innings, 27 outs, and if we can get our young kids to do that coming up through the system, they're so caught up in the analytic part of it, the launch angle, the exit velocity, the spin rate. I think the most important thing is how to win.
Right.
And we have to teach kids in our system how to win baseball games. And I'm sure you go through that same thing. The analytic part, is it that big in women's basketball?
Well, it might be, but not in my world. I joke about it. I say perhaps I'm not smart enough to figure out all those numbers, but I think it is, as an evaluator, it's an eye test and it's a connection. And I ask our players to just feel the game, just use their instincts as to what got them there. You can complicate the game quickly. So, just playing it to its true form, I think makes you successful.
Well, you've been very successful. And right now we got to go away for some business here, and when we come back, we're going to have some of the young ladies.
You got some work to do.
She's going to a couple girls are going to come up and show us how to play basketball, Chuck.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more from Charlie and Bo.
My name is Kenny Thomas, and I'm the chief artist at Shibe Sports. I'm a big Philadelphia sports fan, a 4-for-4 guy.
I learned how to screen print in high school. Started making my own t-shirts at home, slowly grew and grew until I needed to get a studio. My name's Alex, and I print t-shirts for Shibe Sports.
To actually be able to impact a culture with the things you make is one of the most important things an artist can ever do.
Phillies Nation is your source for breaking news, original analysis, trade insights, and more. With Credentials Access, our team of writers brings you first-hand accounts from your favorite players on today's team, minor league prospects of the future, and Phillies alumni from the past. Join our community and connect with hundreds of thousands of diehard fans through our social media accounts, tailgate parties, and charity events. Don't miss a thing. Be sure to visit PhilliesNation.com every day.
All right, we're back again. We have Denise and Charlie, and then we have Maddie Sechrist and Bella Runyon. Two big parts of your success coming up, right? These are two pretty good basketball players.
Yes, great basketball players.
I wanted to ask you one thing now. What position do you play? What position are you? I know you're tall and everything.
Probably 3-4.
3-4?
But positionless, right?
Positionless.
Okay. What about you, Bella?
I'd say 2-3.
2-3? Okay. Now, you are a sophomore and you're a junior, right? So good things are going to happen this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Chuck, I know you wanted to ask them about the repetitions and everything.
Yeah, I want to ask her about our repetitions, and like we was talking, tell us about them.
Like days we have 3 a day, probably 200 to 300 shots.
Did you say 3 a days?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
3 days.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, it covers a lot. They do the strength and conditioning, practice with us, and pickup. So they're covering a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So within that time frame, as Maddie's saying, she gets up how many shots?
Yeah, probably 200 to 300, and then off days probably 500 to 700.
And Belle, what about you?
I would say on off days I get up like 200 to 300, and during practice I don't have as much time with school, so I do try sometimes to get up some after practice, but not as much as Maddie.
Maddie has mastered the schedule configurations.
Yeah. Okay.
They're being a junior. Bella as a nursing major in her sophomore year, still trying to.
Nursing major. That is awesome. You're from a pretty athletic family, aren't you? John Runyon?
Yep.
Big time Eagle guy. Your brother plays for the Green Bay Packers, and you play for Villanova. Did anybody push you, or did you just sort of, because they were around sports, you just hung out and?
Yeah, no, my dad never put pressure on me growing up to basically do anything, especially sports. So he was encouraging with whatever sport I wanted to play, whether that was soccer, basketball, lacrosse, whatever. He just encouraged me, showed up to everything, every game.
That's great. He was a great football player. And Maddie, what about you? Anybody push you, or just basically you loved sports?
No, they didn't push at all. My dad played basketball in college, but my mom didn't really have an athletic background, so it was, yeah, just like I played everything growing up, and then as I got older, focused on basketball.
Do you ever analyze, when you're practicing by yourself, you ever visualize yourself
game winner?
Playing people like I told you about? For me, it was Oscar Robinson or Jerry West in a gold medal tournament when I was a senior in high school against Art Heyman and Jeff Mullins and all these big players. And I scored some points and I got some rebounds, and I felt like I was King Kong.
Held your own?
You ever kind of visualize playing like that?
I mean, definitely not. I didn't do specific players, but in my driveway, I used to play games all the time, and it would be like other teams. Like I'd be in the 8th grade playing against like Notre Dame in the national championship, stuff like that. Oh, game winners all the time.
Exactly.
Like,
That's awesome.
Got fouled.
Got fouled, got the ball back. They messed up the clock. Always.
That's what I call passion for the game. Exactly.
Aspirations of turning professional?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see like what opportunities come. Like if I can play here in the U.S., that'd be great. If not,
Overseas.
there's a lot of great opportunities overseas.
Yeah. You ever play with your brothers?
Yeah, all the time.
Your dad?
Yeah,
Could you beat him?
Yeah, I could try to beat my brother growing up. Once he started to get a little bit bigger and a little bit slower, it got easier. But he's still huge, and it's hard to guard when he's posting up.
That's good.
Real quick warm up, girls, real quick down here, and then we're going to split them up. Team Charlie, Team Larry.
All right, whatever your position is, you got it. Let's go. Now I want to tell you something. We got one thing though. They don't beat us. Let's go. Come on, come on. We ready?
1, 2, 3, dominate.
Team Charlie.
Team Charlie, let's go.
The loser has to buy dinner. All right. Okay. go. Hey, I don't want to buy dinner for him. Let's go. We need to win this game. All right.
Shot.
Nice pass. Nice pass. Nice pass. All right. Good job. You owe me a steak dinner.
That's good. We'll get them next time. Keep practicing.
That's all we have for this week's episode. We'd like to thank Dean Kenefick and the Villanova women's basketball staff for helping us with the show. For Charlie and Larry, I'm Sam Wilson, and we'll catch you down the line. Down the Line is brought to you in part by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Visit Montgomery County's main streets. Find out more at makeitmainstreets.com. By Shibe Vintage Sports, where there's a story in every stitch. Check out their throwback sports gear at their Center City location or at shibesports.com. And by Phillies Nation, where informed fans go for news, rumors, events, and other fun stuff.